Now, the focus for this season is not just on the challenges, but also on the incredible strength that results from these experiences. The goal here is to create a space and place where each of you feel seen, feel understood, and most of all, feel empowered.
Imagine having resources at your fingertips that support you through every step of your healing journey. That's exactly what you'll get with the You Are Not Your Trauma app. Access guided meditations that find your peace, read inspiring stories that resonate with your experiences, and join a community that truly understands. But that's not all. Dive into the Healing Chronicles and participate in community challenges. It's more than an app. It's a companion on your journey of self-discovery and healing. Download the You Are Not Your Trauma app today and join a community where your story matters and your healing journey is honored. Find us on the App Store and Google Play Store. Your journey to healing starts now.
Welcome to the You Are Not Your Trauma podcast, a show that reminds you that you are not alone, your experiences matter, and you are not defined by what you've been through. Each week, you will hear from the host and invited guests who have either personal or professional experience with trauma. They will share their stories and strategies for overcoming past wounds and beginning the journey toward healing and wholeness. Now, here's your host, a gifted speaker, author, coach, and entrepreneur, Harriet M. Harris.
Welcome to a brand new season of You Are Not Your Trauma podcast. If we haven't met yet, I'm your host, Harriet M. Harris, and I am thrilled that you're here joining our community for the very first time. And to all of our returning listeners, hey friends, I'm genuinely excited to have you here as we step into season 4, a season that I have been eagerly anticipating. It is going to be both a deep dive and an uplifting journey. Now, I want to set the stage for this empowering journey that we're going to be on during season 4 as we take a long, hard look at some of the characteristics common in trauma survivors. Now, this season, we dive into various traits that often manifest in those who have experienced trauma. I feel like it's really important for us to focus in on the traits that so many of us find ourselves wrestling with after trauma. And you know what I'm talking about. Those moments when you feel the need to control every little detail, or when you're on edge, always expecting the other shoe to drop, or even when opening up to someone feels like it's too much of a risk. These are all part of the complex survival mechanisms that we create in order to keep ourselves safe. Now, the focus for this season is not just on the challenges, but also on the incredible strength that results from these experiences. The goal here is to create a space and place where each of you feel seen, feel understood, and most of all, feel empowered. Now, I've spent a lot of time reflecting on what we've covered in the past seasons and where we're heading next. We've touched on everything from the scars left by financial struggles to the profound impact of childhood trauma. And through it all, we've managed to connect with listeners in 27 countries. I'm going to say that again. We've connected with listeners in 27 countries. Now, that's something I still find absolutely amazing. Knowing that our stories and discussions, that they resonate across the globe, reminding us that we're not alone in our journeys, even when we feel like it. Now, this season, we've got a lineup that I believe will not only provide you with practical tools and strategies, but also, and perhaps more importantly, offer a sense of understanding and solidarity. Together, we're going to unravel the ways in which trauma impacts our behaviors and our emotions, and we're going to learn, grow, and perhaps begin to see ourselves and our journeys in a new light. So whether you're here seeking answers, understanding, or just a sense of community, I want you to know that you're in the right place. And I invite you to engage with us. Share your thoughts, your stories, and ask your questions. This journey is as much yours as it is mine. So, in today's episode, Trauma Traits Recognizing to Overcome, we're going to dive deep into understanding and identifying trauma traits as critical steps towards healing. But before we go any further into today's topic, I want you to give me a moment because we're going to pause for a very quick commercial break. So stay tuned, and then I'll be right back to start our journey into recognizing trauma traits. We'll be right back.
We are on an incredible journey together, sharing stories of resilience, hope, and the power of healing. To extend the reach and impact of the You Are Not Your Trauma movement, we've launched the Give 5 to Change Lives campaign. With just $5, you can contribute to developing invaluable resources like our upcoming You Are Not Your Trauma app, healing journal, and expanded podcast content. Every dollar and every share contributes to helping bring healing and hope to more people. We invite you to join this movement. Visit giving.youarenotyourtrauma.com to contribute. Together, we can change lives one heart at a time.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. All right, now as we dive back in, I want to share some insights that have really stuck with me, and I believe that they may resonate with you as well. So I want you to lean in and really soak up these nuggets. Now, as I mentioned before the break, today we're going to take a journey to not only identify, but understand the deep-seated traits that trauma leaves behind. Now, as I mentioned, recognizing these traits as signals instead of just part of who we are, it's going to open up the door to healing and personal growth, because it's the reactions that you have, the way you respond. Don't let anybody tell you, like, that's just how you are. Or don't tell yourself, this is just who I am. This is just how I act because someone else did it, or, I saw someone else do. That's not the case. Because I want you to understand what trauma traits are. See, trauma traits are those unconscious patterns of behavior, thoughts, and emotion that are often left behind from past traumatic experiences. They often operate beneath our conscious awareness, influencing how we perceive and interact with the world around us and the people around us. So today we're going to explore how identifying these traits is actually that first step towards healing, allowing us to approach our recovery with intention and deeper self-awareness. Now, common trauma traits such as uncontrolled anger, an overwhelming need to control everything, reluctance to trust, or that need to be perfect, these are not just personality quirks or personality traits, but they're signals of underlying trauma that needs addressing. So let's stop ignoring it, y'all. You can begin to recognize how past experiences have shaped your present and begin to find ways to heal once you recognize those trauma traits for what they truly are. Recognizing that behaviors that you've normalized are in fact responses to unresolved trauma is a very, very important step in your journey to heal. This awareness is going to help you to realize that these traits aren't you, but they're areas where healing is actually needed so that you can become the best version of who you are. You're going to want to consider, why am I having these outbursts? Why does this make me cry? Why does this make me like super angry or super anxious? Identifying what triggers certain responses within you, such as those anger outbursts or the anxiety, can help you develop strategies for managing them. And as you do this, remember that the foundation of healing is self-compassion. So I want to remind you that treating yourself with kindness and understanding isn't just beneficial, it is absolutely necessary. When we acknowledge that our reactions are normal responses to the abnormal situations that we've been put in, it opens up a path of healing that we can walk in with gentleness and patience. Now, the role of self-compassion in the healing journey cannot be overstated, and it absolutely should not be underestimated, because empowering ourselves with knowledge about trauma and its effects gives us the control over our healing journey. Now, I know I've laid out quite a bit for you to consider. Unpacking trauma traits, from being on constant alert to struggling with showing our emotions. While it may be a lot, understanding these parts of ourselves is quite important. So don't forget to be gentle with yourself. Healing is as much about self-compassion as it is about understanding. Now, we're going to take another quick commercial break, but be sure to stick around because I've got something super exciting to share with you when we return. I'll be right back.
Want a chance to win exclusive You Are Not Your Trauma merch? Here's how. Leave a rating and a review on your favorite podcast platform and share your thoughts with us. It helps us reach more listeners who may also be seeking healing and growth. Once you left your feedback, visit feedback.youarenotyourtrauma.com to let us know you've entered by entering your info and the word feedback in the message section. You could be a lucky winner. Now stay tuned for today's inspiring episode, and thank you for being a part of the You Are Not Your Trauma community.
Okay, we are back. Thanks so much for staying with me as we get ready to bring today's episode to a close. Now, after exploring the depth of trauma traits and recognizing their impact, let's take our understanding one step further. I want you to begin to understand yourself more. And I invite you to do this by starting a daily check-in with yourself. And in that check-in, I want you to know any emotions, any thoughts, or bodily sensations that you observe without judgment, and I want you to write them down. This habit will help to increase awareness of your trauma traits and their manifestations, which is going to be a vital step in recognizing and overcoming them. Now, I don't want us to stop at just self-reflection. I want you to share this journey of awareness and healing by participating in our poll for season 4, episode 1, Navigate Your Healing. That can be done in the You Are Not Your Trauma app. So take this opportunity to connect and share. Now, as we wrap up today's episode, I am super excited to share something very special with you all. This June in Dallas, Texas, on June 28th and 29th, You Are Not Your Trauma podcast is hosting the very first Ascend Summit. And it is going to be an amazing event. It has been designed to help you to activate, strengthen, connect, empower, navigate, and learn to dream. It is designed to help bring you from that dark place to the light, to the healing light. It is going to be packed with keynote speakers. We're going to have panelists. We're going to have breakout sessions, and we're going to have some live podcast recordings, in addition to some other amazing things. So mark your calendars and stay tuned for more details. You'll be hearing more about it over the next couple of months right here on You Are Not Your Trauma podcast. You can register for this event by going to ascend.youarenotyourtrauma.com. That's ASCEND.youarenotyourtrauma.com. And you can also find that link in the show notes. And before we part ways today, let me remind you about all the amazing resources that are waiting for you in the You Are Not Your Trauma app. It is packed with resources created just for your healing journey. You're going to find exclusive content, guided meditations, and a community for you to connect with. Plus, just for this episode, I've created something special. a comprehensive guide to help you better understand and manage your trauma traits. This guide will expand on what we've discussed today, offering step-by-step strategies, reflective questions, and practical tips to enhance your healing process. So don't forget that season 4, episode 1 poll, Navigate Your Healing, is on the app as well. So dive into the app right after this episode. Now, I want you to join the conversation. I invite you to share your experiences of recognizing and dealing with trauma traits on social media using the hashtag YANT trauma traits. And be sure to tag You Are Not Your Trauma podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Let's support and learn from each other, because by sharing, we can do just that. Remember, in recognizing our wounds, we find the courage to heal them. Now, to each of our listeners and viewers out there, thank you so much for tuning in to a new episode and a new season of You Are Not Your Trauma podcast. Your presence is a vital part of this collective journey. And if you found today's episode helpful, please don't forget to share it with someone who can benefit from the information shared. Also, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review the show. Check out the website, www.youarenotyourtrauma.com, to leave feedback, request to be a guest on the show, subscribe to the show, get information on our show guests, or to get information about advertising on You Are Not Your Trauma podcast. Connect with You Are Not Your Trauma podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at You Are Not Your Trauma podcast. And if you have a story to share, please email me at contact@harrietmharris.com. Again, don't forget to download the You Are Not Your Trauma app for more resources and community support. It'll be a fantastic tool to accompany you on that journey of healing. It is available in the Google Play and the Apple App Store. And if you need additional resources to aid in your journey of healing and self-discovery, I encourage you to download the You Are Not Your Trauma Resource Guide. It is available through the app or by going to resourceguide.youarenotyourtrauma.com. Until next time, remember to approach each day with kindness and courage. You're not alone on your journey, and you are not your trauma.